This has been a massive rollout. We're talking about 500,000 properties across Tamaki Makaurau. We rolled out the project over a sort of 6-month period. Food scraps make up to 45% by weight of our bins, and it's Auckland Council's goal to have zero waste by 2040. So getting those food scraps out of our refuse bins is a really important part of that target.
When we've developed our waste plans in the past, engaging with mana whenua has been at the core of it. And if you look at the 2018 plan, it looks at a Maori worldview. And in the Maori worldview, you have no waste.
It's about our whenua, it's about our tamariki that are going to be around for the future. I want our land to be healthy.
When those food scraps go to landfill, they cause methane gases, which is bad for our environment.
Methane gas is one of the major greenhouse gases.
By putting your food scraps out, your food scraps go down to our anaerobic digestion plant.
Anaerobic digestion, you take your food waste, bacteria breaks it down in tanks, and through that process you get biogas, which is methane and carbon dioxide, which is then converted into different renewable energy products. And then you also get the kind of liquid residue, which is your fertiliser, which can go on land.
Everyone involved, there's so much passion in there, and that's what makes this project unique.
Everything that we do, it's all for a purpose, and I think that really comes across when you're talking to people. It's just, everybody's very enthusiastic about this.
Everybody is ready to help each other, but also everybody is passionate about this project.
They all passionately believe in the project and the impact it's going to make.
I've actually worked previously at an international business, and when I saw this and the scale of it and what the council was attempting in a year, it got me personally really excited.
Just tremendous buy-in from the leadership. No corner cutting. No, they were committed to putting the customers at the heart of it, because they understood that was important to achieve that uptake rate.
The one thing that has really driven me has been the commitment that has been shown from every different council groups that have been involved with this project. People probably don't understand that there are individuals in this project team that I've spoken to that are on their laptops at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We think this is great, and we think this is what the council is here to do. We can't just be about rubbish and roads. We've got to be aspirational.
One of the challenges that we knew right at the beginning of this project when we started off was this is not just a service we're delivering, right? It is a change of habit.
The hardest part of this is we can build a facility, we can roll out the service, we can get it all working perfectly. But if we can't get people on board or empower people to know how to use the service, to want to use the service, then we're not going to achieve what we've put this all in place for.
I think my biggest recommendation would be make it easy for customers to understand the why we're doing it and how you're doing it.
The more information that gets out to the public, they understand what it's being done for, and that's when people are getting on board. And in my experience so far, the younger ones are educating the older ones. They're like, well, come on mum, or come on granddad, you know, we've got to use this, it's good for the planet.
We've had a number of councils come to us, and we're happy providing resource or experiences, but they've got to realise they can't just take our solution and plonk it somewhere else and expect it to work 100%.
My top advice for another council would be to plan and plan for things to not quite work out the way that you think they're going to be.
It's really important to make sure you share with your team the positive stories that come back. If you can really focus on that positive feedback, then it keeps everybody really inspired.
Traditionally in bigger organisations, sometimes we get stuck in silos and people don't often work well or communicate as well as they could. So the Food Scraps project rollout has been an example of how we can do that better. So the way that our program manager Sarah and Terry, our project sponsor, have helped hold the team together, make sure we're communicating well, have fun, has been, has really enabled the project to be successful.
The communication that we have in our team is quite open, quite frequent.
Communication between all parties of this project are a huge contributor to the success that we've had.
When we do a startup in an area, in the first 2 weeks or so, we'll actually do daily stand-ups where we have the contractors involved, the comms people, the customer service people, and that actually allows us to share what's actually happening. And that's really, really important, because not only the contractors telling their own story about what they're seeing out there, they're hearing what's actually happening in the other parts of the team.
We had really good communication with Council during the process, not just our contract lead, but also the other divisions in Council that were actually part of the rollout, so the bin inspectors and the bin collectors and the people dropping off the bins, and it was a huge big cog of moving parts. So having connections to all of those throughout the rollout and being able to tap into those different parts made a huge difference to supporting our people on the ground to make sure that we're in the right place at the right time.
How do we know that food scraps is making a difference? Well, we have a gentleman that works within Council, Siona Tuisi, who has been with Council for I think nearly 40 odd years. He is a person that maintains spreadsheets of information, and 2 weeks ago I was in a Teams meeting where he looked at the tonnages going into landfill from a year ago and the weights that are going into landfill to this day, and he said there has been a significant drop. He was absolutely confident that the food scraps rollout has made that happen.
One thing about this project is it's a big change for a lot of people who've never ever composted, and so the work is not done in 1 year. This is going to be an ongoing social change. It's going to need constant and continuous work as we bring more people into the fold, but every week when those bins are out and people see them, they wonder about what is the system, and our job is to keep bringing people with us and seeing the results for New Zealand.